about to tune in to Unapologetically Daphnique podcast.
Hey, what's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of Unapologetically Daphnique podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a special guest today. Y'all give it up for Brandon Brody.
What's up? What's up? We are here, man. Oh, man, I'm happy to be here. You know, I'm unapologetically happy to be here. Like, really, this is good. I like this setup. This new setup is great.
Oh, thank you.
I like the setup. Look at got the artwork on the back, right? It's colorful. You know, it feels like we're not gonna be talking shit. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it's gonna be happy and gleeful and all that.
No, we gonna talk shit.
We gonna talk some shit, but these colors give it that Nickelodeon,
like so like a kid can click on it, but then they parents be like, "Hey, what you listening to?"
Or the whole family can watch it together. You know, the kids on mute. This is great. I'm happy
because we gonna talk about everything in between.
I already know.
Okay, so today's topic is: should you date multiple people at the same time? I say yes.
Okay.
I say the more the merrier.
Okay.
You should have a different person for every day of the week. Start out with 7 niggas and let them eliminate themselves as time goes.
Okay, so they gotta strike out basically.
Yeah.
How many chances do they get, each of these 7 niggas?
I say they get about maybe like 3 strikes and you're out.
3 strikes. That's 21 strikes in a week, essentially. If we adding it all up, that 21 fucked up things could happen to you in a week, essentially.
Yeah.
That would be like they throw you off, but each one gets 3.
Or sometimes it could just be 1 depending on the level of it. Like if you're in my starting 5, okay, right?
Yeah.
Got a roster of 7, starting 5. Because you always you gonna be feeling like the other 2, like he really ain't that attractive. He not that tall. He don't make that much money. But you know what? I'm getting older. I might just have to settle down with a dude who don't have no side teeth. That happens. You know what I mean?
You got to bench that player.
You got to bench him, but he can always move his way up because he's sweet, he's kind-hearted, he's giving. You know what I mean? He remembers things like dates and stuff like that. He asks you about your date. He rubs your feet. He waits to get the coochie. Like he can move up.
He's your numbers guy. That's your smart one, your numbers guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the accountant, I'm gonna say.
Basically.
You know.
Quiet, out the way, just lucky to be in your presence.
Yeah, maybe on the spectrum a little bit, you know?
A little bit on the spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah. Spectrum is a wide range, but he's on it.
Yeah.
Little autism. That's why
dash.
one of his disabilities is that he's able to focus on you.
Well, he knows all those dates too. He
Yeah.
can remember every single date. You know, on February 14th, February 17th, you had your hair a certain way with this color. Yeah, I get it.
And he can fight because people with autism can fucking fight.
Oh, they got hands. They
definitely got hands for no reason.
No reason they
don't have to ever have been in a fight in their life and they got hands.
Yeah, automatic. It's innate.
Yeah,
it
comes with being on the spectrum.
Yeah.
You automatically just get like bop, 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 like some Mayweather hands.
Yeah. So you've dated multiple dudes at the same time before?
I never did it, but I want to. Moving forward, I want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I just feel like the problem with dating one person at a time is that you're meeting that person's representative for the first 6 months.
Facts.
Depending on how good they are at faking it, the first year. And you wasted a whole year of your life with this person who wasn't going to be your forever person. And you didn't have the capacity to just be like, yo, let me just put myself out here with multiple people. And because when you first meet somebody, you see a little red flags, but you ignore it because a representative is overpowering the red flags.
You bring them down to orange. You know, you're like, I'll orange that one a little bit.
They not in the red. Okay, that's a little yellow. You know.
It's caution, but maybe it's nothing. You know.
He left his wallet at home 1 time out of 3 times. You know, he just a little caution. You know, slow down. You know how when the construction people have to slow down side?
Yeah.
Slow down. You know.
Proceed with caution, but you don't just stop right there. It's yellow. Right.
But moving forward, as I get older, I want to date multiple people just so people can just eliminate themselves. But as I get older, I realize that I have like a shorter temperament for dealing with BS.
Your patience. Yeah. You learn too much.
You lose patience.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And you realize you're really happier being single. But societal pressures, you like, yo, I need to be with somebody. Yeah. But like nowadays, if you be like, you want to come over my house? I'm like, yeah, you already striked yourself out. You off the roster.
Just when they try to invite you over their house.
Yeah, too soon. It's too soon, player.
How many dates in do you think it's acceptable for them to, or perhaps if you had a really good first date, an amazing first date, like they gotta meet you outside somewhere first? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
So meet you outside somewhere first. You hit it off. Then he says, yo, I want you to come through tonight. Are you with that?
Hell no.
Okay. Date 2. hit it off one more time.
Okay.
Then he says, hey, I was thinking about inviting you over tonight. We can keep this going.
You only got to the second date because I said no on the first one.
Okay, but now he's asking you on the second date. Is he coming over? Can you come
No,
over?
I
now?
know. I'm saying I feel like you didn't feel the energy to ask me the first night to come over, so you waited to the second date and be like, hey, you want to come over after? Still too soon.
All right. How many dates in are you going to be able to finally go over their house?
I gotta feel like this is my person. Because a lot of people, I'm just gonna be bullshit. They in the friend zone, so I'm really never gonna really go over your house if it's ever involving you like touching me. So I would say at least like 5 dates you can tell.
5
because
dates.
you're talking on the phone and texting in between.
Okay, sure. You're getting to know them, so it's not that crazy.
Yeah, it's not that crazy.
And then also like when you get to see like someone's real place on FaceTime and see all that, you can kind of get an idea. Like, okay, this don't look too suspicious. I don't see no dead bodies in their freezer when they open it up. Like you can feel a little more comfortable.
They not white, so I ain't got to worry about a Jeffrey Dahmer. But which is crazy, the most prolific serial killer of all time was actually Samuel Little, a black man. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he killed the most women and got away with the most murders and for the longest period of time.
Black people be doing it, man. I see y'all.
One thing about black people, we are good at everything.
They good at everything,
okay?
man. Hockey, killing.
Talking hockey, we coming through. You know, basketball used to be all white. Football used to be all white. Baseball used to be all white. Niggas gonna come through and take over. We done took over golf.
Yeah,
but shit, did we take over golf? Because
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods don't really consider himself black.
Well, I mean, yes, he is because he had a white woman when he got on.
Yeah. Oh, so that is like the standard.
That's standard a black athlete. You know what I mean? That's he's black.
Yeah,
he's black.
He's way blacker than he know.
Yeah, he's way blacker. As far as me, like, let's see, I the same thing. Getting older makes you realize that you absolutely need to date multiple people at the same time because unfortunately the way this game is gone, when you're putting way too much, and this is coming from a male perspective, when you're putting way too much energy in one woman, that woman's going to get dried up. She gets like, oh, this dude's thirsty. He's just way too on me. Having multiple women makes it so that you have better time management. So you can't just spend all that time focused on one woman. And it's too much concentrated energy. I know you don't like hearing that, but it's the truth. Because if I had, like, let's say I was talking to you, right? And I hit you up at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That's too many damn texts. And you know, you're getting kind of you're getting annoyed, right?
But if it's like,
I know I for sure hit her up in the morning. Yeah. I'll check back with her again after I hit the other 3 on their hour. And then come back and do a night
other
type
3
of
on
thing.
their hour.
Yeah,
okay, so
hour.
Are you doing copy and paste?
Never copy and paste.
Oh, so you're tailoring your text message to each individual woman.
I have good dialogue with them. I've already established good rapport. That's why we're already even in this space. And I'm always, look, I'm a jokester. Unless there's just something that's just so across the board, that's a joke that I can copy and paste. Maybe I will. But it's funny because too in the black community, it's seen as like oh, you're a player, you know, she a thought, she a hoe, and it's like I talk to my white friends, they'll openly say, yeah, I'm dating this one girl, and she's like this, I'm dating this other girl, it's like this, and women will be
and
like, oh,
they
I'm
get
dating
married quicker. Do you know that?
I didn't realize that, but they're always talking about that.
And I think it's because they actually are finding their person by dating multiple people to realize what they like and what they don't like in a person.
And it's open
dialogue. It gives you more freedom.
Yeah, it does give you more freedom.
Black community, y'all holding yourselves back. That's why our marriage rate is so low.
Because we spending a year and a half, like you said,
with one person
to find out you don't like that person.
Yeah. And you really realized you didn't like them month 3, but you didn't want to start over.
You was already committed. You was already in the game.
But I have to admit to you, I am a copy and paster.
Oh, you
if
copy
I'm
and
talking to
dudes?
texting multiple people at a time, then if you ask me the same question, I'm not going to retailor or retype the same thing. I'm literally going to go back to the last message of the last man that texted me that and then respond with the same copy and paste answer that I gave you.
And see, that's what dudes...
And if somebody asks me a good question, I'm going to copy and paste that and then ask you that good question.
I feel like these dudes ain't being creative enough. Like, I'm going to make sure that I'm getting a tailored response back. I'm like, that's crazy. Send me a pic with today's date in a newspaper with a thumbs up, so I know,
So I know it's real.
Yeah, so I know it's real. Something like that, or handwrite me the message because I'm gonna be like, I think she's copying and pasting this. Especially there's some language you just know when it's a copy and paste.
Only thing is crazy about dating multiple people is that I don't know how to let the other people down.
You're a people pleaser.
In a way, I don't want to just, because I know me, I'll just ghost you. And then I'll feel bad because you really probably, if I've dated you for a little certain period of time and kept you on the roster, like you're a good person.
Yeah.
But now I feel like, damn, I gotta let go.
I think the mature way to say that is just like, hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. Things have been getting kind of serious with someone else, you know, but I have appreciated the time that we spent together. I think that's the easy letdown way. Should
you let somebody know up front that you're dating multiple people?
I think that you should, because I've been in a mix where I did not, and I essentially I didn't lie. It's just that they never asked me. They never asked me, "Are you dating other women?" You know, and I just omitted it. I was like, "Cool, I'm not going to share it," because they never asked. If they asked, I would have absolutely said, "Yes, I am actually talking to a few people right now," and then let them, I guess, decide for themselves. So ultimately, when they found out about each other, you know, it was all shit hit the fan, and it was, you know, it was what it was. But in that same regard, I didn't know that I was going to keep talking to these people at that time. Because when you meet someone, hell, there's times you meet someone, you hit it off, maybe you're at a club, maybe you're at a party, you're dancing, you're vibing, you're flirting, and then you exchange numbers. You're like, oh man, I think we're going to talk a little bit. And then the next day you're like, I don't even feel like hitting this person up.
Yeah.
You know?
Their breath was a little stank.
Yeah, something might turn you off and take you out of there. But then there's situations where it's like nobody in that regard of this dating pool, they haven't done anything wrong. They're both doing great stuff. Yeah. You know, great stuff. And then you find yourself in this like, they both proposing. You know, they both want to get married.
Okay, they both now I'm in a polygamous relationship. And I didn't want to be in it. But two, I can't let both of these people down because I'm going to have to hurt somebody's feelings. So I might as well just move to Utah and be with both of them. Utah's a good place to run. Be with both of them.
Oh, yeah. That's a good place to be polygamist. And I guess that's all. What else does Utah have? They have the Jazz, the basketball, so you can watch maybe a basketball game or two.
Yeah, and then I could, like, one of the people can be one of my cousins because you can legally be with your cousins.
Oh wow,
the Mormons do it all the time.
That's a fantastic. Yeah. Shout out to Utah.
Very cool.
Utah.
Okay, so let me hear your best letdown of somebody that you're dating multiple people and one of them you got to let down.
Whew, man, oh man. Okay, so
are you calling?
I'm gonna call. I'm not gonna text
or in person.
I'm gonna do at the minimum. It's gonna be FaceTime at the minimum. I'm not gonna text. I think that's disrespectful. I think it's cowardice.
Oh.
I'm gonna at least at the minimum FaceTime. But meeting is probably be better.
Yeah.
And then you know, I think that's the respectful thing. And I'd say like, okay, hey, so I just wanted to be upfront with you about some things. You know, like I have been dating multiple people. I know
what?
I have been since we started talking.
Oh my God, I didn't know. I mean, you text me every day, all day on the 3 hours.
Because I really enjoy dialoguing with you. I love talking to you. I love communicating with you. But I just at this point, like, I don't.
Brody, I'm 38, and I wanted to have kids and a family,
and that's still going to happen. It's still going to happen. I know there's someone there that's the perfect representation for you.
Brody, I gave up my celibacy for you. I hadn't had sex with anybody for like 4 years.
And I'm grateful for that too. And it's not that it's not special. Like we had a special time together. If
it was so special, how could you be with somebody else, Brody?
I told you from the jump that I was involved with, I was dating a few people.
You didn't tell me that, Brody.
I thought you knew. I thought it was assumed. We never really dialogued about that. You never asked me.
So now it's my fault because I didn't fully communicate the questions of asking you whether or not you were with multiple women.
It's not your fault, but I'm just saying that I did not lie to you. I did not lie to you. You didn't ask me that. You asked me what my favorite color was. You asked me if I've ever gone on a hike. You asked me what my favorite hiking trail was, but you never asked me, was I talking to anyone else?
Why was she better than me, Brody?
Okay. Well, for one, she just has a larger throat. I mean, if I'm being,
she's a throat goat.
She's a throat goat, man. You
said you didn't even really like head like that, Brody.
It was your head, babe. Look, I'm not. Look, I don't want. Please don't cry. All right, you know how I feel when you cry. You know how I feel when you cry. Okay, don't cry now. All right. But listen, I don't want us to be like have animosity or anything like that. You know, I just want you to understand, like, I'm really trying to be upfront with you right now. I'm not saying it's completely over or anything. I'm just saying that things are kind of getting serious with this other person. We can still kick it. We can still do that.
I don't want to kick it. I only want to be with somebody that's going to be my man.
And I'm just not ready for that right this second. I'm not saying that I'm jumping into a relationship with someone else right now either. I'm just saying things are getting a little serious.
Okay, I'm going to key your car. I'm going to come up to your job and try
Fair
to
enough.
get you fired.
Just don't write baby dick on the side of the car. Can you not write that?
Too late. It's already out
right.
there.
Well.
All right. And scene.
So.
That was so sweet.
You like that?
That was like some Drake type shit.
Yeah, I'm like still trying to be honest,
it's
but
definitely
like
giving like light skin.
It was a light skin response for sure. You know, it's like autopilot. You know, I can go into that, and that was just a scene.
Okay.
We had no background in that scene.
Okay.
We had nothing. I just created that from scratch essentially. But that's how I would do it. Like, guys, I really do feel that like I don't think that like there's one other thing about just early dating. You don't have to tell everybody every single thing immediately. It should be at your comfort level. I think it's okay to say like, hey, I'm not too comfortable to talk about that right now.
What? I feel like you should be kind of upfront and clear.
Well, things about like kids or like, but it's like, what are your intentions with me and all that? I think that's fair to
what
be
are
like,
you looking for?
What are you looking for is fair, but what are your intentions with me? It's kind of like, well, I'm getting to know you right now. I want to see.
So you feel like that's something that changes over time. I feel like you should know that immediately upon meeting somebody and spending a couple of hours with them. What your true intentions might be.
There's some women that I've gone on like a little, what I'm thinking is a date maybe, and then I realized, all right, you know what? I think this is better as a friend. Like I really actually am going to.
But how quickly do you realize that?
You find that out pretty. I'd say
that's what I'm saying. Then don't bullshit me and have me around here being your friends with benefits, and I didn't really want to sign up for that.
Well, how long?
That's what makes women crazy. Men do it all the time. You know who is best at dating multiple people at the same time?
Who, Neo?
No. Hey, Neo, of course, but also married men. Married men are great at dating multiple women at the same time because they have to be upfront that, hey, I have a wife, but I'm going to leave her. You know what I mean? But in the initial part, they're very clear upfront and upstanding about the intentions and the relationship upfront.
Well, they set a boundary that the woman knows, that's the mistress or whatever, knows that they can't cross. So that woman has to stay in the pocket. But when there's no boundaries, women be like, well, why couldn't you pick up at 3:45 in the morning?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because you was probably with that might not be.
Bitch.
I might have fallen asleep legit, But so
why
you almost
sleepy all of
you know
a
what?
sudden?
Maybe the new lie is to just say, you know what? I really like you, but I'm married. I'm about to just start saying I'm married, yo.
Yeah, you should say that.
I'm about to say I'm married up front. Because it gives you just this automatic boundary that you get like a safe space.
And women are still going to deal with you.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
That's what's crazy. You take a bitch out, just all you got to need is a wedding ring and just go out, take her out, show her a good time. And then she know that you're not always readily available for her because she thinks that you're married.
And I'm going to say, and the thing is, she never asked who. I'm going to say I'm married to the game. You know what I'm saying?
Because what's the one thing women don't do? Ask enough questions. We never asking enough questions.
I think that's the way.
Because people don't want to be hurt in the initial part. So I feel like they don't ask a lot of questions because they rather just leave it up to faith.
Yeah.
And faith will let your ass down every time.
Well, there's certain things that I like to ask up front too because it's going to hurt me further down the line. So like these things, there's certain things that they're not deal breakers or red flags to me. Like I'll ask like, have you ever had a threesome? Have you ever done this? Have you ever?
You was a 69 guy.
Yeah, well, freaky ass nigga. So I'll ask certain questions because I know at the top of the relationship, it's not going to affect me as much because I haven't developed enough feelings. I'll remember those things but at least it won't affect me that way because I already heard it. But it's like it's a whole lot of bricks just falling on you when you find this out. You 2 years in, and she's been real prude with you and real kind of, like not the freak that she was in college. And now all of a sudden you finding out, man, she was doing all the things. You're like, you was doing all them things.
You was eating ass.
All them things. And here I am getting damn near. I'm getting these dry hand jobs. Like, come on now, I think that's it's upfront for me works the best. I like to hear the dudes you dated. I like to hear like the
body count.
Body count comes a little bit midway. I don't want to know off top.
You want to know at any point? I don't want to know at any point.
I don't, but you know what it is? It's when if they ask me and then I share, then I'm like, well, you're going to have to give me some kind of reciprocation because you're not just going to have that information from me. And then especially because there's a thing. If I say a certain number, usually women curtail that number based on what he just said. And so that's why I like to be sometimes, honest with my number so that at least then they can just be like straight up honest with their number. And it's still a lie, but at least it's like closer to the honesty than we going to get, Because it's one thing if I say 10 women and then I say 100 women or I say 200 women or something like that. And then they say, you know, if I leave with 10 women, you think she's going to say, well, I've been with 87 guys. Like, no. She's going to be like, well, I've been with like 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah.
They're going to try to keep it under yours and keep it still light.
My body count is always 2. The person I'm with and the person before you. Because you got to understand at my age, it had to be somebody before you. But my body count is always 2. I will never go farther than 2. Because every year my body count starts over.
It goes back to 0?
It goes back to 0. I can go back one number.
Well, should just go back to 1. Because you don't want to tell someone you're a virgin, you know. Because then that constitutes that you're a virgin. So maybe it always goes back to 1 every year. You got to have like a positive integer.
Yeah.
So 1 is reasonable. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a scenario with me.
Okay.
So I'm dating multiple people. I no longer want to date you anymore. Okay, and scene. So you're calling me.
Okay. Bling, 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 bling.
You're blocked. See? It's over.
Bling, 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 bling.
Do you not understand blocked? I'm not.
Why are the messages coming in?
It's not even me answering. I'm just literally saying you're blocked.
Well, let me send a text. Green.
Yeah, it's green. Check the social media.
I'm
Check
going
my
to social
Instagram.
media right now. Can't find you.
Check my Facebook.
Can't find you.
Check my TikTok.
Not there.
Snapchat.
Unavailable.
Twitter.
This page been removed.
Threads.
Not existent.
YouTube.
I found someone else, but it's not her. Okay, here we go. This is the one. I know I find her on this motherfucker.
And if you show up to my
Cash App. I just sent $1,000 your way.
I'm gonna take the $1,000 and
so I know she.
blocked.
She's alive. She's out there. She's out there. She's out there. All right, and here's the best one. Let's go to that shared location. All right, now I got to run up on you.
Okay, if you come to my house, I got a gun. I have a gun. You come over here, you gonna leave with something.
All right, I'm gonna also send a message on the Netflix usernames. Bitch, pick up the phone. Those are all the accounts you're gonna see now. Because you know you still left your Netflix in my house.
That's creative.
I'm gonna change the username to bitch, pick up the phone. Those are all the little accounts.
Oh, so you got 5 accounts, so you won't even pay extra.
No, yeah, you're gonna have just for that, just to get the message across. You're gonna have to spend a little money.
Wow, so you don't went from $12.99 membership to $19.99
we boosted it
membership.
up. We got the premium Netflix thing just so I can send text messages now. It's gonna be 5-word sentences at a time, but you gonna get. That's all I need is 5. Economy of words is better in comedy, anyways. You don't need all that fluff.
Take away the fat.
Take away the fat. Trim the fat. I'm gonna find you. What's that? That Antoine Dot said. We gonna find you. The little, they're gonna hide your kids, hide your wife. Yeah, that dude. Yeah,
that nigga was gay.
Yeah, he was certainly gay.
Yeah, that was
the song.
People didn't need to know that information, though.
But yeah.
Yeah, I remember the song.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the most amount of people you've dated at one time? And when I say dated, I mean actually like dated. Like you take out, they're in rotation where y'all spend time together in person. To me, texting and just messaging, that doesn't count as dating. You know what I mean? You have to be in the spending time in the regular amount. What's the most amount of people that you did?
Maybe 5 to 7.
5 to 7? I said that in the beginning, but I was lying.
I'm being honest. It's just like 5 to 7. That's really not a lot. Like that's really not a lot. It's a headache. But
okay,
it's not
allow me to do my rant. Men, this is why a lot of you are unsuccessful, unemployed, broken, because you're talking to too many women. Okay? If you invested that time in yourself and a skill or a hobby or a degree or a job, you would be way more successful than what you are. When you are talking to multiple women at one time, you are dividing that energy around that you could be putting into bettering yourself. And nothing gets you more pussy than a Ferrari. So if you think you're talking to 5 and 7 women now in a Honda or homeless, just imagine if you started investing that time in yourself, and you whipped out in a Rolls Royce.
No. See that, and that's a great PSA to all the fellas. Let me also chime in to the fellas. You don't spend 5 to 7. You don't. It's not a multiplier thing. It's you treat it like it's one woman, and you divide that time amongst the 5. Do you understand? So one day is from somebody, one day is another person, one day is another person. Because that time when you have your one, you spend that time with her 5 days. You cannot do back to back shit with that many at that time. You divide it so that you have time to pursue your career. So you have time to get your money up. So you have time to get that Ferrari.
Who y'all gonna listen to?
She's never dated 5 to 7 men. She was lying.
Okay, so when you're dating that many
My Ferrari's
people,
outside right now.
talk to me.
Let me get that.
Hit it. Click, click.
All right, look at that.
Don't let him see the
Locked
key
it up.
knob. But okay, so when you dated 5 to 7 women, right? How many? Because the most I've ever dated, men-wise, was 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where you going out with 2 people kind of interchangeably? Okay, so how many are you having sex with?
Maybe 2. Maybe 2 to 3. Yeah.
2 to 3. 1 in 4 people got herpes. So if you got 3 and it's you, somebody got that.
Somebody
shit.
got the shit. So then you gotta do the simple math, or just check your lips every now and then. Nonetheless, I'm not spending like that much time with all of them. And then some of them, it's kind of like they're on their.
Don't matter. You drop that dick off shit.
Some
Somebody got it.
Some of them on their way out. Some of them like a new slice, and some of them like, oh, it's a return pussy. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's like, oh, this, then that one, and this one, and that one, that one. It's like, okay, one's phasing out, while another one's coming in, and then there's probably another 2 in the roster that are more like, well, wow, we had a nice date, we held hands, and like we flirted. It was very, what's the word, prude and sweet and sincere and that type of thing. And then there's one that's maybe just sending nudes and saying, when you gonna come over?
Okay. The statistics are still the same.
Nonetheless. 5 to 7, 5 to 7 is really not a lot. It's not a lot.
It's going to take you to the clinic.
It's not a lot. It's not a lot.
I believe it is.
She just had this conversation with someone yesterday, y'all. She just had
No. I just had it today.
The breakup conversation with someone?
No, I told you I just ghost. And if you are so persistent, I'll just be like, hey, I'm just very busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll never really tell you the truth.
You say you busy?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, because technically I am busy. It's just like now I'm really.
But you gotta
busy.
I mean, look, like I don't think men have feelings, right?
I feel like if I do a man.
Hello. Men have feelings, right?
Okay. If I do a man dirty, I'm giving him karma back. At one point, men are notorious for patriarchy, doing women dirty, thinking they're better, ghosting us. So if I do a nigga dirty, I'm his karma, baby. Just call me Daphnique Karma Springs.
Wow. So you don't think that the act of your karmatic energy in itself brings about negative karma back to you in the future?
No.
You think it's all the balance of someone that did something wrong to you?
No, I'm just doing the Lord's work.
Wow.
Yeah, I was ordained to do this.
Did I just hear thunder? Is that thunder? I think I just heard thunder.
Me and God good.
I just heard some
he ain't
thunder.
coming for me.
If
that's thunder, that's coming from the devil because I don't fuck with him. He don't live around here. On God. Okay?
Look, to each their own. And if that's how you got to go, dudes, and if you feel it's a karmatic response, all right. But there's going to be some dude that's been so polished, so kind, has no karmatic energy coming his way. You think you do him wrong, it's not going to come back to you.
Okay, we don't need you to be trial and jury over here, okay? Because Daphnique not ever on trial. We good over here, my boy.
All right, Daphnique. I'm gonna go through your Rolodex of exes and see.
Do you feel bad about letting a woman down that has a child and you kind of connected with the child?
That's a hard one. I mean, I think that's why you don't want to get too invested with the child too soon.
Yeah.
Because, of course, children are going to become attached more faster. Their perception of time is different. So a child having spent 2 months with a new parent's partner is going to feel like a year, like a very long time. And so I think that you should absolutely wait till that you have been with that person for a year before you start spending time with the child, so that it's kind of like meeting around the same time. It's kind of like you have the same energy, as opposed to I'm dating this woman for 2 months. I've known her child for 2 months. The child has already surpassed the emotion even though the woman has, or even I'd say the man in that situation. I'm not gonna feel the same way that a child's gonna feel in 2 months for a person, but maybe in a year I might feel that same way that if they had 2 months. And it's also the other parent, the non-custodial parent. It's like you gotta have respect for the custodial parent.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, all right, I want to make sure that I'm bringing the right people around my child. Because I read some story, something wild happened.
A lot of men are unaliving women and their children.
Yeah, and likewise the other way around too.
Women are doing it as well.
These because
some sick ass people out here.
Because they trust in them to have. Yes, I read some stories. Some man's child was unalived by some crazy woman. And he let her, he left her at home with her to babysit while he went to go.
Which is something you normally do when you're in a relationship.
When
with
you trust that person, but again, you need to have a lot of trust.
Yeah, when I'm in a relationship with somebody, if they have a child, and I meet those children and connect with those children, I'm going to be loving and caring towards those children while I'm in that relationship.
How many guys would?
You gotta let me finish my rants.
Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be loving and caring towards that child while I'm in that relationship. But the moment I break up, it's fuck those kids.
The moment you break up?
Yeah, if the little nigga want to see me, he better hit my TikTok up.
Wow. How many dudes with kids have you dated, would you say?
Not a lot.
But did you actually find some kind of bond and kinship with the kid while you were together?
Yeah, but once we broke up, I didn't feel it anymore.
You didn't feel it anymore, okay. Were you buying them presents?
I'm a real nigga.
Okay, all right.
I'm just joking.
These kids are traumatized.
Okay, they're like, Daphnique, I thought we had a connection. No, you didn't.
There's a kid crying somewhere in L.A. It's sad. Okay.
Okay, so people should date multiple people. That's it, okay? Now, should you play around with people's feelings and emotions and lifestyles and stuff like that? No, you should not. If you are in an exclusive relationship, you should be exclusive in that relationship. We've also determined that the best people to date multiple women or be multiple people at a time would be married people, okay? They do it very well. They're excellent at it. A+. Okay. Also, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I think that you said it. I think that, and if you're not married, just let the only lie be that you're married, and I think you'll have a better successful dating life. Put a ring on, say I am married. You don't have to tell them what you're married to give yourself something to admit back to. So I never said I was married to a person.
Post my marriage on my social media.
Yeah, I'm married to the streets. I'm married to the game. I'm married to my career. I just told you I was married.
You give very nice fuckboy vibes. Like you the type of nigga that'll cry on the phone with a woman, but also just never call her back.
It's like a lowercase f fuckboy, like a lowercase f.
Yeah.
Fucking lowercase.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Okay. All right. I think I'm genuinely a good guy, and I get caught up in fuckboy scenarios.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
When a man of your age in his 30s says, I'm generally a nice guy, and he hasn't married or settled down with one woman and committed to her and made her his wife, he a fuckboy. There's no way around it. You are what you are. You are at that age where you can no longer be considered a good man, because if you're such a good man, you should have married a woman. Period. So y'all need to stop walking around saying, oh, I'm such a good guy. I'm such an awesome man. I treat women right. Then make her your wife.
Well, you can't have Frosted Flakes every day. Some days you want Honey Nut Cheerios.
And that makes you a fuckboy. Moving on. Okay, so we're going to get into today's hot topics. Okay, so this first brings us to NBA star Anthony Edwards and his baby mama, Aisha Howard. Okay. She's like 13, 14 years older than her? He's 30 she's 38. Aisha is 38. And Anthony Edwards is what, like 23, 24?
20s.
Yeah, early 20s. Okay, so NBA star Anthony Edwards made a historic move by paying $1,080,000 in child support all at once, covering 18 years worth of payments. That's $5,000 a month, but he decided to set it all up front. The message is clear. Don't ask me for a thing for the next 18 years. So, okay, so this YN, which is a young nigga, got this older woman. She 38 because she's older than him, same age as me. He got her pregnant, was just messing around with her. She got pregnant. Right before she had the baby, she tried to move to Los Angeles, and then she petitioned and gave birth in Los Angeles. So she went to a judge and tried to get Los Angeles child support because, like, $5,000 might be the most you can get in a state like Georgia because the cost of living is low. But LA, that $5,000 could be equivalent to like 20 grand. But a judge agreed, and he agreed with Anthony Edwards that, yeah, you tried to move out here and give birth to the baby in Los Angeles so you can get more child support. So we're going to let a judge in Georgia settle the case. So the judge ruled that $5,000 a month will be the child support payments. And Anthony Edwards said he wanted absolutely nothing to do with the child. Nothing. Doesn't want to see the child. Doesn't want custody rights. Nothing. This child is on his own. And he decided to do something that historically might never have been done before, is to give Aisha Howard $1,080,000 up front and said, hey, best of luck. Yeah, I told you not to have the baby. I asked you to have an abortion. You decided to give birth to this child. I am going to financially provide for this child, but I will not father this child.
I think that it's interesting that you could just pay that off like that. I always thought it was just a monthly thing. I didn't know you could just do one lump sum and be done with it. Just pay a flat fee, child support. That's interesting.
And that makes for the child to have a bad relationship with the mother, because if the mother wastes all your money within a year or 6 months,
blows it.
Yo, you gonna be pissed. You gonna like low key hate your mama. You gonna be like, bitch, what you doing with my money? I feel like with that amount of money, like a portion of it, it's just like in Los Angeles, when you have children actors, they have to have a Krugen account. And so that means that when they work on set or work on TV shows, a portion of the money has to go into a fund that's available for them once they turn 18. So a parent can't just spend all the money like what happened to, what was it, Gary Coleman. His parents like spend all of his money. So it's laws that's in protection of that. But I feel like a portion of that money should go in some type of money market account or some type of account to protect the child so that the child has something at 18 and the mother is not just wearing Fashion Nova clothes and designer Chanel bags. So
my son had a Coogan account.
Oh, he does? Yeah, because he's an actor.
I set one up for him.
But I feel like that should be done in this case too for a child support case.
Oh yeah. That's. I mean, honestly, and it's almost like you give yourself an allowance for the year because if you're not managing it properly. It's like that's so unfair.
Yeah,
I think the most I would say also even in investments.
Yeah,
in that regard,
a portion of that money should be saved and invested, but not in anything high risk, but over time so that it actually grows for the child, so the child can have a college fund or whatever. But what's crazy is that men know how children are made. So for you to go into somebody raw, ejaculate, what do you expect is going to happen? And then to say you don't want the child, I feel like if you don't want the child, you shouldn't do the things that makes a child. And that's where a lot of men mess up. Here's this guy. I feel like Anthony Edwards, people are trying to like show him grace because they always want to attack the woman. Why have a baby with a man who don't want the baby? Maybe because you want your baby. Maybe you don't want to have no abortion. You know what I mean? So with that being said, being that she did give birth to the baby and he didn't want the baby, this nigga has a history of messing around with older women with unprotected sex. He had 3 kids in 1 year, including hers. And a total of like 4 kids. So with that being said, it's another thing too people aren't really talking about. He has a habit of going after rappers' wives. So I feel like niggas that he really is a fan of, he be like, yeah, I'm gonna sleep with your baby mama and get her pregnant too. And then when she really do get pregnant, be like, no, wait, I don't want that baby. Because he also has a child and he's in a relationship with another woman that's in her mid-30s or older. I believe her name is Shannon Jackson, which is Chief Keef's baby mama.
Yeah, I mean, he's really spreading his seed to the rap community in a way.
Yeah. And is it some type of little weird fetish that you have for rappers? Because you're going behind them, which is kind of like
sloppy seconds.
But it's still like, do you really like low key have like a homosocial vibe with them? And homosocial don't mean that he wants to actually have sex with Lil Baby or Chief Keef, but he idolizes them so much that he wants to go behind them. That's kind of weird. Or is it just Gen Z young nigga behavior?
Well, I think also though, no, in some regards, it's also the rapper that gives that woman that much more allure. It becomes something that they want to conquer too. You know, that's what a lot of the chicks that rappers have dated, and then you see them another one like hell for Lauren Harvey. Lauren Harvey, beautiful. Lori Harvey. I mean, yeah, Lori Harvey's beautiful. If she hadn't been with all the rappers that she said that people said she was, I don't think she'd have that much allure. Like she's still a bad, a beautiful woman, but it's not like the platform that she's
like
built
we've seen
upon.
People equivalent.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've dated women better than her, but like it's because she's had these other guys that everyone's like, oh man, that's such and such a thing. Like everyone wants to know what's the allure to her. They probably want to know what's the secret. Maybe her personality is just that fire. Maybe it's unbelievably incredible fire. She's just so dope that. But then there's this other idea. It's like, man, like Rick Ross did that. I got the girl Rick Ross was with or whatever.
And this is why people hate Drake. Because he does this same exact thing. Yeah. Little Baby just doesn't care. Little Baby is a YN too, but I guess he really ain't really checking for his baby mama probably that much like that. But this is Drake's behavior. And this is why a lot of people in the music industry, rappers and such, don't like Drake. Because Drake goes after and tries to have sex with women that rappers are with or people in the industry are with or have been with. And this is not makes you a likable person. But yeah, I think people are really ignoring the fact that Anthony Edwards has a fetish of sleeping with rappers' girlfriends.
Yeah, and
you're only hurting a child. That's it. That's the only person that's getting hurt in this situation is because you want to have no visitation rights with this child because of your hatred of the mother coming out to LA. But what about the mother 2-3 kids? Are you going to be in their lives? That's just so not fair.
Well, we'll see who gets that really gets that 1,080,000,
And she can petition to get more over the years. Inflation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if he starts doing better too.
Yeah, and if he get a second contract, she could really take him back to court and he'll probably have to give her another lump sum or settle on monthly payments for the increase. So him doing this is really just like $1 million ain't shit to him. But he's not really preventing himself for never having to pay any extra money to this child. And then when children go to college, I think for a certain amount of years, you have to provide them with medical care and sometimes more child support, depending on if they go to college.
Sounds like he needs to schedule that torn ACL pretty soon.
Oh, he tore his ACL?
No, I'm saying like he needs to schedule one.
Oh.
An ACL tear, or he's gonna be if he starts getting a lot more, then that renegotiation might happen.
Well, if he laying in the bed a lot, he just gonna be having more kids.
Yeah, touche.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So, Sean Combs' sexual assault lawsuit was dismissed after Jane Doe chooses to not reveal identity. The Jane Doe had claimed the disgraced music mogul attempted to sexually assault her during a 1995 party in New York City, and that Combs hit her when she refused his advance. Her attorney, Tony Bugsby, who filed her lawsuit on October 2024, filed for the woman to proceed anonymously in January, but was denied by the court earlier this month. So, that lawsuit was dismissed. And my thing is, people are really going back 30 years, 1990. I can't remember. I guess if you were sexually assaulted, that type of trauma would probably never really leave you. But it's just like, girl, you said he attempted. Did he do it? Because if we're talking about attempted, how many people have attempted? A nigga grabbing your ass is attempted sexual assault.
I didn't think about it
I
like
need to
that.
be suing a lot of niggas, okay?
Yeah, a lot of people to sue.
Talk to me. And I don't mind showing my face. More publicity. Daphnique did it. Hey.
Well, the thing is though, she chooses not to reveal her identity. That's what makes it a little more like messy and like it almost seems like, you know, when you're, because it's at that point, and it really is like, and I'm not saying that I'm not going to victim shame, I'm not going to, you know, promote anything like that. But at some point, there is that other end of it where you're not revealing. It's an attempt, and you're not revealing an identity. It's like it's not going to hold up. It's not the strongest case, you know, unless you have some video evidence, some picture evidence, or some witnesses at that point that were also at that party that can really attest to that. It's just not the strongest case to stand on, unfortunately.
Busby was actually the attorney that Jay-Z was just able to kind of beat, because he also filed, court documents with a woman that claimed she was sexually assaulted. And then the woman's father was like, I don't remember that. And by Jay-Z, and Jay-Z kind of, won, got it dismissed, and also tried to come after the guy's license. So this Busby guy, I think he has no credible
cases
credibility. So at this point, people are just like, yeah, we just probably going to throw that out. Do you think Diddy will serve a lot of time in jail?
Nah. I think there's gonna be some kind of loophole.
Within approximately how much time?
I'd say maybe 2-3 years.
I say 3 years. I say he'll definitely be out by 3 years.
I think there's gonna be some loophole. A lot of the cases. I mean, he has plenty of counts against him. Obviously, I think that they're finding his team is. I mean, of course, he's gonna hire the best lawyers he could possibly.
We done seen a lot of men beat up women,
and it's like and get off. You know, it's terrible.
Or never go to jail. So
yeah, terrible.
That's terrible. But that's not enough to hold him. And then they trying to get him on racketeering, charges, and it's just like, and sex trafficking, because he had sex with people across state lines and stuff. But it's like, sex trafficking is really where you got girls and they cannot leave. I feel like most of the people in Diddy's situation was able to leave the situation when they felt ready to. Yeah. If they really wanted to get away from him. When you in sex trafficking, one of the things they do is constantly dope you up with heroin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you don't get Chanel bags, and you don't get trips, and you don't get private jets. You're on a Greyhound bus or in a white van traveling across states, laying on your back, having sex with Johns that's coming in and just never receiving or getting any money from it.
Well, the other thing too about, you said heroin, it's like it's sometimes a derivative of heroin. It's like maybe some pills, like opioids, stuff like that, because
they keep you high.
Yeah, they keep you high, tell you it's your medicine, and then what happens is when you start acting up, you go through a withdrawal on those types of drugs. You go through a withdrawal that feels mentally terrible, physically terrible. It feels so bad that you just like, I'll do anything to get another dose of that. Yeah. So it's like, it's a way to keep someone in line by pretty much destroying them by giving them the thing they need. And then of course, in those mental states, it's easier for them to maybe forget or go through the sexual actions that, from being doped up, from being drugged up, that they don't even remember it. So it's like, it's kind of a cycle in a sense.
A cycle.
Man.
But people are gonna pay for the things the sins that they did for all the years. It's just karma coming back for Diddy. And sometimes they'll keep you in jail just to break you. Yeah. Yeah. So once they get all the money and exhaust all the liquor deals and the royalties and
there's a lot of business to be.
Yeah, a lot of business to it. Yeah, that's why they come after some powerful people, not because they didn't do the shit. They very much did what they said they did. Yeah. So a lot of them are horrible people. That's the problem. When you get money, try not to be a horrible person. Yeah, do your best. Then guess what? Father Time will never catch up to you. Okay? So we got a lot of people that's in these industries that live out the rest of their life because they may do bad business, right? Don't give people their masters and all this other kind of stuff. But they also not out here beating up women, having sex parties, telling other grown-ass men like Meek Mill to call them daddy. Okay? Getting matching shirts for them in the pool. Yeah. Being provocative, saying weird shit to Justin Bieber. Okay? So that's all. That was all a choice she made, Diddy. Even if you went after the liquor brand, Ciroc and you felt like they set you up, you still did the shit they said you did. We've seen a lot of it on camera for years and we've been ignoring it. We've been ignoring it because we liked you. We liked you at the time, okay? But you did what they said you did.
Things will catch up, man.
Maybe not everything what Busby said you did, but you did a lot of other shit. We've seen it with our own eyes. It's been hiding in plain sight. You been a 69 God freaky ass nigga. And it caught up to you, bruh. So do the next 3 years, 4 probably max. You get out, get your life right, try to take care of your kids. You won't be a billionaire. Hopefully you'll still maybe have 10 million. And I'm not hoping that for you. I'm just saying, hypothetically. Moving on. Okay, so Luigi, say his last name? Mangione. Luigi Mangione. The Department of Justice is pushing for Luigi Mangione to get the death penalty. And they say they want to make America safe again. So Luigi Mangione's murder of Brian Thompson, an innocent man and father of 2 young children, was a premeditated, cold-blooded assassination that shocked America. After careful consideration, I have directed federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty in this case as we carry out President Trump's agenda to stop violent crimes and make America safe again. And this is Attorney General Pamela Bondi. Yeah, so they saying bam. But was this Brian Thompson guy an innocent father of 2? He was a father of 2, but was he innocent? I think when you have people dying in hospitals because you won't cover their medical bills or drowning in debt and causing stress that will cause them to choke a little earlier than expected, are you innocent?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's not a direct degree of separation, but it's very close. You know, it's very close. You're indirectly affecting somebody's life
indirectly murdering a lot of people.
Indirectly. I think it's interesting. You know, they're pushing to make America safe again. They're saying they're giving him the death penalty or putting him up for the death penalty because they need to just. If they don't, it's like they're just trying to set an example.
It'll become the purge.
Set an example. Yeah, it's a public execution essentially. That's why they're even mentioning it to us. Then they'll tell us, oh, he was executed at 6:07 p.m. on such and such date to let us know, and everyone knows, oh, that Luigi guy did this, and they murdered him. You know, they gave him the death penalty. So then it makes other people stay in line and be like, okay, well,
it's control of the population.
Because the other angle of it is the fact that you have a bunch of people that are copycats that then are going after other CEOs. To prove some kind of point, and not just limited to the healthcare industry. It could be multiple industries in that regard.
Yeah, Target. As far as people won't just be hitting them in the pocket for DEI. Yeah. Somebody might feel the need to go murder the CEO of Target. And you cannot put that power into everyday people's hands. So do I feel like Brian Thompson was wrong? And do we live in America where stuff like that will forever exist and go
unpoliced
and without any consequences? Absolutely. But we also as a country can't give the power to anybody to make that type of trial and error on their own and just be like, yo, I'm gonna take this person out because I feel like it, because I feel like they do stuff wrong. Because also it came out that Luigi might have didn't have any direct incidents that happened that affected him from the Brian thing. He just felt like, yo, this is what they do, deny policies. Let's make America great again. He's that type of thing. I bet he's like, damn, Trump gonna come after me. I voted for him because he looked like he voted for him. Yeah, absolutely. With those eyebrows.
What's ironic is that, I've had the thought of, someone unalive the CEO of Target. The irony is that they already got a target on their chest, Yeah. That's the wild thought. Somebody bullseyes that thing.
And we're not petitioning for anybody to do that at all. No. We're just saying that we can't give that power to people because they just think, this person deserves to die. Yeah, because it'll be a whole bunch of copycats, and then you'll find yourself into some shit, and then it'll become the purge. It'll just become a civil war, citizens against citizens, and we can't allow that as a country. So I think for them to recommend the death penalty, he'll die a hero, but still, it's something that has to be recommend it. You know, I think it's something they have to go through because we can't just have this happening.
Yeah, I think that.
But I'm also okay with white on white crime. Yeah, I'm okay with white on white crime. Y'all say we do it all the time. You know what I mean? I'm okay with white on white crime. That it's really not our business, Black America. Let's step down.
I think the message is like, it is important that our country needs to find some kind of change to the healthcare system. There needs to be a change.
Universal healthcare.
It should never take something like this to happen for us to receive universal healthcare, or just even those that are already in bad positions to, not get the healthcare immediately that they need. Why are we milking their lives out just to?
Because of Big Pharma. Big Pharma controls America.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Is that these pharmaceutical companies are in control. Yeah. They lobby. They have lobbyists. They lobby and petition, and they pay money to governors and senates and presidents and stuff like that. They got big money. Because guess what? Why cure a disease when you can make money off that person for the rest of their life? HIV medicine. They already said somewhere in Africa they cured HIV, but they're not going to bring that shit anytime soon.
Every time a doctor gets on a plane with a cancer cure, that plane goes down.
And guess what? Nobody is held accountable. But Luigi, you let him out.
Yeah.
He'll be back on this shit again.
Yeah, he'll be back on these streets.
Or maybe they kind of feel what he did and they fake the death penalty. It'd be like Epstein, where they just get a face change and just put him in another country. He'll be all right.
Yeah. He changed his identity up. He becomes Mario Mangione. He's not Luigi, he's Mario.
Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you very much for watching another episode of Unapologetically Daphnique podcast. Brandon, tell them where they can find you.
Yes, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Brody the Joker. That's Brody the Joker. Yes, I look forward to following y'all and making y'all laugh.
And I'm your girl, Daphnique Springs. You know you can always find me coming to a city near you. Shows galore added to the calendar. Make sure you go to my website, www.iamdsprings.com. iamdsprings.com. Can't wait to meet you. Bye.
Follow, like, comment, and subscribe.